Am I the only one around here who likes GTA 4? Yeah, visually it's not the most stunning game in the series, the physics are a bit heavy, and it had a bit too much overbearing family for some people.
Nico, it's Roman! Let's go bowling!
Fuck you!
But I'm about to drop a flaming hot take right now. This is my favorite GTA game. Put the pitchforks down, I can explain. This was the first game I ever played in the Grand Theft Auto series. It imprinted itself into my admittedly way too young brain that this is what GTA is. And anything else I just don't enjoy as much. That's not a comment on the quality of the more beloved games like 5, San Andreas or Vice City. They're good in their own right and I have no problem with them. I just feel uncomfortable being there, like an animal in a new habitat, or the Taiwanese girls locked in my basement. So long story short, I'm a big baby who doesn't like anything different. There's just something about the vibes and the gameplay that feel like home to me. And it's not because of the homelessness epidemic. Yeah, you guys have your blimps and your blimps, but I've got cubed, bitch.
Why the f***ing heck are you talking about a game nobody cares about, mate? You need to be talking about the latest games, otherwise you will die alone like an irrelevant loser virgin dipstick.
I'm not gonna give in to the algorithm, you fucking melon.
Your channel will die before it even lives, like your unborn twin brother.
Well, how the fuck am I supposed to talk about one of my favorite games of all time while riding the algorithm so my videos can actually get seen? Hang on, what the fuck is this about an unborn twin? Well, I guess it's time for another iceberg video. If you're new to this genre, let me give you a quick rundown. These icebergs are basically lists of trivia, theories, and obscure references based on anything like games, movies, comics, government conspiracies, you name it. The further down you go, the more esoteric and often disturbing it gets. Thanks to Juan Dalida for the original list, although it was written in Spanish, so I had to go ahead and translate it using my very precise Google Translate skills. Also, some people like to add a confidence meter to indicate how much research they've done on each item of the list, which is sometimes none at all. I'm not doing that because I'm not a twat and I've checked everything before writing this. So without further ado, this is the Grand Theft Auto 4 Iceberg. This is a personal favourite of mine. If you head down to the Firefly Products Park at the corner of Mohegan Avenue, you'll find a swing set notorious for having the ability to yeet the fuck out of anyone and anything that touches it. It needs a bit of a nudge at first, but once it starts clipping, wait for an unsuspecting NPC to walk past it or back into it with a car. I do recommend one because the force of the swing will kill you instantly, if not from the impact of the fall after. It's no secret that Liberty City is based on New York City, statue and everything, but there's an interesting detail hidden within. If you fly over to the Happiness Island and get on the platform of the statue, you'll find a couple of signs in front of a door that say, "No hidden content this way." If you don't have the mental capacity of a squid, you'll realize the door has no collision detection, you can walk right through. After that, just climb the ladder and you'll find a giant beating heart suspended by chains. And no, you can't destroy it. The PS3 struggled enough already. There are a decent amount of references to extraterrestrial beings in GTA 5, but they're not so much references and more just shoving the aliens in your face. Rockstar was a bit more subtle back in the day. If you look at the Liberty City map and zoom in on the lake in Middle Park, it's somewhat shaped like an alien. It may take a moment for it to click, but it does resemble something like Roger from American Dad. Not the most bizarre thing in the game, but if this was intentional, nice one. In case you needed a reminder because you like to float around the internet watching videos discussing movies and games and then complaining about spoilers. Spoilers, I heard you fucking wrong. At the end of GTA 4 you are given two decisions. Accept Pegorino's business offer or get revenge on Dimitri. Either way you get cucked because if you take the deal, Dimitri backstabs you and dies anyway. And Roman gets accidentally assassinated at his wedding on Dimitri's behalf. If you choose revenge, Pegorino takes his place and kills Kate in a drive-by. The only other difference is when you get your $250,000 reward. So you don't leave empty-handed. There's been plenty of debate as to which ending is canonical to the GTA series, but characters in the Ballad of Gay Tony in GTA 5 make references that could point towards the revenge ending, and Roman appears as a friend on Nico's Life Invader page in the latter. If you've ever taken a break from blowing up cars and helicopters to take in the architecture of Liberty City, you may or may not have noticed a graffiti texture that appears to be a tribute to the protagonists of the past GTA games, all presumed to be dead. Like the previous item on the list, it's been a subject of debate among fans, because forum nerds just can't let anything exist at face value and everything needs a fucking analysis. While I was talking about the Statue of Happiness earlier, you may have been wondering why the ever-loving fuck it's so creepy. Well, if you're American, and chances are, most of you watching probably are, this face is very familiar to you. Back in 2005, players of GTA San Andreas discovered a hidden minigame that can be equated to mashing Barbie dolls together. And back in the day, this was the filthiest thing you could show in a video game, and politicians were putting the pressure on developers and publishers to neuter their games to protect the children, including Hillary Clinton, who pushed for more regulations on the ESRB. Rockstar never commented on it, but allegedly this design was their response to the controversy, further evidenced by the coffee cup in the statue's hand. Yeah, hot coffee, yeah, get it? Sorry, this one's fake. The only footage and images of UFOs are from mods. The reason this is on the list is because some people think the distant flashing lights in the sky are UFOs. They're just planes. Go outside, touch some grass. The main character Nico Bellic is introduced to us as an immigrant fleeing to America. His background is quite vague, but it's widely agreed on that he is of Eastern Europe descent. There are many conflicting story and language details that make it harder to pinpoint, but the most argued places of Nico's origin are Yugoslavia, Serbia, and of course Russia. I can smell the vodka from that voice. I'm no historian, so I can't give you an extensive explanation on wars and shit, and quite frankly I don't care. I just want to blow shit up and go bowling. No, this isn't a Portal reference. Ratman is an urban legend akin to Bigfoot in San Andreas. Rumor has it that there's a character who roams the subway system of Liberty City, described as a half-man, half-rat hybrid. The best screenshot that exists is too blurry to give a precise description, but players who claim to have encountered Ratman say he runs as fast as an NRG 900 and shouts his name like a demented Pokemon. The only hints towards his existence are random pools of motor oil in the subway debated to actually be blood, and a Weasel News segment about the mayor declaring to flood the subway system due to a rat infestation. A bit of an overreaction, but okay. In the promotional artwork for GTA 4, this image of Lola de Rio has an odd detail that's easy to miss. How many fingers do you see here? Hang on, let me crop this so you can stop staring at her chest. How about now? There seems to be a sixth finger in between her index and middle finger, which is probably an error on the artist's part, not a hint at a secret species of six-fingered people in Liberty City. It's a fucking car. It's not even in the game. I don't know what you want me to say. If you kill Playboy X and get his mansion, you can find an outfit in the wardrobe belonging to Claude, the protagonist of GTA 3. It's a nice little nod to the previous game, but some players think there's more to the story than that, believing that Playboy killed Claude and stole his clothes. I don't mean to go full QAnon here, but without beating around the bush, this is a cheese pizza website. Little Lacy Surprises is a fictional brand of underwear designed for kids, and yes, it's going where you think it's going. This website is a sting operation run by the LCPD disguised as a sponsored event to catch predators. If you look it up, you'll be greeted with a message that basically says, "You're fucked," at a 5-star warning level. Good luck. This is pretty much just Rockstar shitting on Scientologists. The Epsilon program is a cult in the GTA universe who are the typical truth seeker types. They make a more significant appearance in GTA 5, but here you won't see or hear much from them apart from an interview on Public Liberty Radio and a couple of references on websites. In Tudor, Alderney, there's an abandoned factory that used to produce Sprunk, the in-game drink, and much like a lot of abandoned buildings, there have been tales of spooky occurrences inside. While exploring the factory, players have claimed to hear voices and banging noises, but it could just be nearby NPCs being retarded as usual. If you shoot a weapon inside the factory, a bouncer from the strip club next door will come around and shout at you. That's about it. Some say they've even seen ghostly apparitions wandering around the factory, but as usual, it's probably all just fake. Since they both take place in Liberty City at the same time, the three-leaf clover mission in GTA 4 and the introduction of Ballard Gay Tony collide in a bank robbery. So what does that have to do with Mike Torino from San Andreas? Apparently he was in the bank. His only documented appearance is in San Andreas, so unless this is him, that's all I've got. Now remember earlier when I told you about the 2 endings? If you pick Revenge, Kate gets shot, but when you keep playing, she never leaves you alone. Players have reported sightings of Kate at the Colony Island Cemetery, and some have even received phone calls from her asking to go out under unknown caller. The ghost is probably fake, but the phone calls could just be a bug in the game gone unfixed. Or maybe that's just what they want us to think. Another physics-based glitch, a baby stroller can be found at the Broker Dukes Expressway. While there are a couple scattered around the map, this seems to be the only one that can move on its own. Some say that shooting it triggers a sound clip of a child, but it might just be another little detail thrown in there to make the story more spicy in a forum thread. If you go into Dwayne's apartment in Northwood, Algonquin, you can actually walk right in like the nosy home intruder you are. And as expected, it's not exactly the nicest apartment in Liberty City, what with all the blood stains and the graffiti and broken furniture. Apparently Dwayne never locked his door, so that clears things up. Probably attracted all sorts of company. It is Liberty City after all. You can't walk 2 blocks without seeing a hooker get run over and robbed by meth heads. There's another apartment in the same area owned by Teddy Benavides, with a blood-stained bed. This was a separate item on the list, but I thought I'd slip that one in there, just to get through this shit. Oh boy, more abandoned shit. Anyway, if you go off the coast of the Actor Industrial Park, you'll find a cargo ship and a tugboat, subjected to the rust of time. There's no ghost stories or anything cool and spooky about this one, just another detail to the gorgeous landscape of Liberty City. Rewinding back to a previous item on the iceberg. You know that lake in Middle Park? Yeah, some people think there's fucking whales in it. Not only do whales live in salt water, but they can't fit in that fucking lake. Where the fuck would they come from? How would they survive? None of this makes sense. Some players claim to have seen the infamous killer pursuing hookers during the night, but there's no evidence to support it. The closest thing we have is a mission title referencing a book written about Jack the Ripper, but that's pretty much it. Again, this is another one of those myths like Bigfoot or Ratman, but there's probably mods out there for it. The serial killer you do find in the game, however, is known as Eddie Lowe, a crazy son of a bitch who's one of the random encounter characters you meet, who you eventually kill in self-defense. Not sure why he's on the iceberg, but now you know to watch out for this guy. Since Pegorino dies regardless of the ending you get. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. According to some players, if you go to the Alderney Casino after you beat the game, you'll see his ghost. This is pretty much the same as the ghost of Kate, most likely fake, but the ambient sounds you hear while exploring the casino are scripted to play on purpose. Rockstar, you teasing fucks. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Much like Little Lacy's surprise, not everything on the in-game internet is instantly available. So make sure nobody in the internet cafe can see your screen, pull up a website list from the wiki and get googling, or eye-finding, whatever. Here's a few of my recommendations. eatbiglogs.com, whymummygotfat.com, ilovetoblow.org, pointclickshipperbitch.com, lootandwank.com, handjobsonline.com. This character is the host of a conspiracy show called Area 53 on West Coast Talk Radio. You know, the typical tinfoil hat, truth seeker type fellow who thinks the government is putting rat piss in apple juice or some shit. As expected, his show was cancelled, which forced him to retreat to the internet and start Area53site.com. So he's basically this game's version of Alex Jones. He's also related to an item further down the list, so we'll be back to him in a moment. I don't know if this is something a lot of people have missed and it's gone undocumented, or I just suck at googling, but there's this dead end somewhere with a broken barrier and a couple of rusted cars resting on the rocks below. This could be an Easter egg or a reference with some dark implications. Oh, just another day in Liberty City, you know? Fucking Frank fucking drives off into the water again. Fucking silly bastard, isn't he? According to some players, there's a few ghosts of construction workers that can be found at the docks at Grummer Road, Northwood Heights. Similar to the other abandoned locations, there's various creepy ambient noises that can be heard while exploring the area, but some shrug off the quote-unquote ghosts as a sporting glitch. Some have also said they've seen a specific female NPC that could be an intentional Easter egg in the game, but the closest thing I can find is the ghost of Mount Gilead from GTA 5. Name a better combo than Russians and nuclear weapons. If you go to the deck of the Platypus in East Hook, you'll find crates with radioactive material warnings on them. Something I've noticed is that some of the stuff on this iceberg seems to have been expanded upon and taken advantage of in GTA 5. With this, for example, the radioactive crates are just decorative here, but in GTA 5 you actually collect radioactive waste for money. Unfortunately, since these are just for decoration, you can't blow them up. 0 out of 10 game. Want more splody boom boom. Basically, because this lake in Bohan is shaped like a foot, people think Bigfoot is in this game.
Yeah, we're really reaching out.
I fucking hate this place. Not because some apparition tickled my taint, but the mission that takes place here was so ball-crushingly tough I almost quit the game. I literally could not get through it without cheats. But anger aside, this is another one of those abandoned locations that's supposedly haunted, but it's probably just hobo NPCs bumbling around looking for needles. But here's a fun fact. It's based on a real hospital in New York with a delightful nickname, the Smallpox Hospital. You know what, I'd rather get smallpox than go through the snowstorm again. Richard Ramirez was an American man who went on a killing spree between 1984 and 1985. His victims were often raped and beaten to death. No need to worry though, he's since rotted away in jail. What does that have to do with GTA 4? Well, some players claim to know of an NPC that hides in alleys and the subway system to hunt other NPCs and displays characteristics similar to Ramirez, but chances are it's another hoax or a mod. An article on the Liberty Tree makes mention of urban myths potentially harming the image of the city, such as Sasquatches, giant alligators, the usual stuff. Okay, there's much more to it than that. But it turns out that this is merely Rockstar making references to previous games. Dead Pop Stars, Vice City, Secret Cities, GTA 3, Sasquatches, San Andreas. It all connects. This is rumored to be the original name for Ray Bacino, or a separate character entirely that was removed before release. Not much to elaborate on here, let's move on. I've never experienced this during my rampages in the hospital, but some players have witnessed some of the bedridden NPCs floating in the air Exorcist style. And yes, there's footage of this. This is less likely to be a fucked up Easter egg and just another physics glitch. Tell you what, there's always bodies flying around in there when I waltz in with an RPG. Remember the whole L is real mystery from Super Mario 64? This is the GTA equivalent to that. Duke's Cemetery is one of the spookiest places in Liberty City. It's been the subject of a few ghost sightings among the GTA community, and is allegedly the resting place of Count Orlok, right here at this grave. But the low quality texture has made the dates harder to read. It's widely believed that the years are 1347 to 1849, but others say 1347 to 1349, which is ridiculous for two reasons. One, Liberty City wasn't established until 1625. 1664 if you want to get anal about it. And two, what famous vampire lives for 2 pissing years? Yeah, this one's just a bunch of bullshit. It's another Ratman-esque monster, but even Ratman has more leads than this. This is probably a mistake in the iceberg. I already covered this when talking about Kate. Another secret on the in-game internet. This appears to be a forum for all those tinfoil hat types that gather and share their theories about Liberty City. It also changes as you progress through the game. Neat little detail. As for the content itself, it's just some map targets indicating stuff for you to do or look for. Oh hey, Eddie Lowe is a member. Or was. During the development of GTA 3, there was a character called Darkel, who was supposed to give you missions that basically amounted to killing sprees. Despite making it to the point where he had voice lines recorded, he was ultimately cut from the game, and some players suspect he could have been an early iteration of what would eventually become the elusive Ratman in GTA 4. Since remnants of him can be found in the files of GTA 3, we can put the pieces together and get an idea of what he could have been. He definitely bears a resemblance to Ratman somewhat, and it's not too far-fetched to imagine they'd share other characteristics. I could see this dude getting cooked and outrunning trains in the subway. For this item, we return to our neighborhood nutcase Marvin Trill, the guy who got kicked off the radio for talking about aliens and shit. Basically, Marvin believes the world will soon face a Terminator-style apocalypse because of the advancement of technology, and when this shit does go down, the people on top will migrate to a nearby planet simply known as Planet X. Oh, and the Epsilon program is connected to this as well, because of course they are. He continued to spread the word of the apocalypse after losing his radio show, and apparently has an underground bunker ready for when the day comes. I wish him well. If you had an emo chick in your class, you're probably used to this amount of edge. But if you visit My Room Online, which is this game's equivalent to MySpace, you'll find Debbie, username RavenVamp11. She's an anorexic high school girl who's obsessed with vampires, rockstar clearly ahead of their time, and nicknames herself Octavia, Dark Countess of Nosferatu. Fucking Dracula. Apparently her boyfriend transformed her into a vampire, and they spend their days sucking each other's open wombs, sacrificing hamsters, painting with period blood, and plotting to kill their parents. Young love. Avid players of GTA 4 may notice the occasional helicopter here and there, but some have reason to believe this is more than just a simple detail to make the environment busier. There's a reason helicopters fly over you while wandering around Liberty City. The government knows you came to this country illegally, and they're observing your every move, just waiting for the right moment to strike. No matter where you go, they will find you. And they will get you. I really gotta stop listening to Area 53. And that's the Grand Theft Auto 4 Iceberg. What a ride that was. Makes me want to bust out the 360 again and go hunt some ghosts. You know, in between some casual hit and runs. Gotta get money for the strip club somehow. If you weren't exactly a fan of the game before, I hope it at least piques your interest to jump back in and find a few of these things for yourself. I actually didn't know a lot of this stuff before researching this shit. Also, I was surprised to find out not a lot of people have tackled this one. Most of the other GTA Icebergs are more on the popular games like 5 and San Andreas. Lucky me, hey? Well, I'd better not waste any more of your time. But if you did enjoy my rambling, I recommend subscribing to the channel and smacking all the necessary buttons and bells and fucking whatever, I don't care. And leave a comment telling me how much GTA 5 is more superior to GTA 4, because that's a totally unique opinion nobody else has, and yeah, you're a fucking special snowflake for thinking that. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna go bowling. But first, I need to find out about this fucking twin brother.